I'm from Indiana, but I'm a Red Sox fan.
And I'm from Minnesota, but I'm a Yankees fan.
And welcome to the Rivalry out of state, our baseball series here on Running the Table. I'm Drew Westland, along with me, Andrew Sinicariello. We did our American League standings predictions, and we are going to keep the train right on rolling with National League standings predictions. This is our second episode out of our Major League Baseball series predictions for 2022. We're going to be doing awards and give our World Series pick after this, but let's get to some National League standings predictions. Andrew, are you ready to go?
Let's run it.
Short, quick, easy. Let's get right to it. The first division we got up, the National League East. And this one, I got kind of a shock because I actually have the New York Mets winning the division at 96 wins. I have the Atlanta Braves coming in second right behind at 95 wins. The Philadelphia Phillies coming in third with 88 wins. The Miami Marlins in fourth at 79 wins. And the Washington Nationals in last, 63 wins, 99 losses. Now, let me explain myself. I understand that the Mets are the Mets, but this year it's going to be different, guys. I promise. I promise you it's going to be different. Actually, though, they did some things differently. They went out and they got some free agents. They got Mark Canha, they got Eduardo Escobar, they got Starling Marte. They went out and signed Max Scherzer. They made moves to make sure. Adam Ottavino for the bullpen. I like the Mets already. When Jacob deGrom comes back, if he comes healthy, that is going to be the key. Jacob deGrom staying healthy for a full season, because at the top of that rotation, deGrom and Scherzer is absolutely nasty. I think this offense can produce enough to keep, the pitching afloat. And then the bullpen, Edwin Diaz, for all of those casuals that think he's bad. He's not bad. Edwin Diaz is a really, really good closer, and I think he's going to be better than ever. He's throwing harder. His stuff has more movement. He's better at locating. Edwin Diaz is really, really good. Let's not get it twisted. But let's not forget about the Atlanta Braves that are right behind them. Atlanta also got insanely better. They brought back almost everybody from that World Series team, and even then some, signing Kenley Jansen in the bullpen, creating the best bullpen in baseball, which the title previously was held by the White Sox. But now that they've had some losses in Kimbrel and Crochet, now I think the Braves, just bar none, best bullpen in baseball. That's going to carry them a long way. Philadelphia, that offense is going to absolutely rake. They're going to rake Schwarber and Castellanos alongside Harper, Segura, Hoskins, Real Muto. That lineup is going to be absolutely fantastic. Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler at the top of the rotation. You got Corey Knebel to shut it down, so I think the Phillies are going to be better. I think the Marlins are a sleeper. Their pitching rotation is fantastic with Sandy Alcantara, Trevor Rogers, and Pablo Lopez. They will always find a way to develop those pitchers. It's just, can the offense keep up? And I'm like, I don't know. And then the Washington Nationals, like a lot of these teams, they're just sinking there at the bottom with the fire sale. I mean, good for Anibal Sanchez, 38 years old, and he's on the Washington Nationals opening day roster. So I think you can tell the state of that team. But that's why I have in the NL East.
All right, not bad. I'm pretty similar with my predictions. I still
Except you
have
don't
the
have the Mets winning.
I'll get there. I still have the Braves winning. I
Yeah.
got them at 92 wins. And then I have the Mets rated second place with 89 wins. And then I got the Phillies in third with 82. Marlins in fourth with 77. And then the Nationals down in last at 66 wins and 96 losses. Going back to the Mets, there is one guy you forgot to mention, and that is Chris Bassett. They also traded for him
They did trade for Chris
when the
Bassett.
lockout ended, and another great addition for the team. I mean, the Mets, you guys got to do it this year. Like, I don't know what more it's
That's
going to
my
take.
thing. Like, the
Like,
Mets
I'm
always
I'm
find a way to Met,
100% with
but
you on that.
like the Mets find a way to Met, but if not now, when?
Exactly. And it's like, you guys made such great moves over the offseason. You guys can't mess this up. I'm saying this as a Yankees fan. Like, I'd feel bad for you if you mess this up somehow, but I don't think they will. I think they'll get 89 wins and be a solid baseball team. Phillies, I have them at 82. You do mention they have plenty of great bats, and that is true. But I feel like this has been a trend every year since like 2017. You see the Phillies just dominating the division, but then they just decide to stop winning baseball games. I don't know if it's going to happen again this year, but it wouldn't shock me if it did. And they got Corey Knable. That's a pretty good pickup for them, but we'll see if that's enough to help their struggling bullpen. And then I don't got much more to say. You said pretty much everything I want to about the Marlins and the Nationals. I guess just run it with Juan Soto and hope that you can build a
Yeah.
team around him in a few years.
Yeah. I mean, if Washington locks up Juan Soto long term, I know they had a deal in place before the lockout, but who knows? The fate of that team is very much TBD. But now we're going to move on to the NL Central, which, my God, this division is one of the worst in baseball. There's not much positives outside of the Milwaukee Brewers and the St. Louis Cardinals, who I have 1-2. I have the Brewers winning 90 games and winning the division. The Cardinals right behind them at 86 and 76. And then the bottom just falls out for the rest. The Chicago Cubs, a pitiful third place, 75 wins and 87 losses, which I will get to the Cubs later. The fourth place Cincinnati Reds at 73 and 89. And then the Pirates, I have projected to be the worst team in baseball, only 50 wins and 112 losses.
Wow, you're going at me for the Orioles and Royals, but you got them all the way down at 50.
Yeah, because
My
the Pirates are
goodness.
so much worse than either one of those two teams ever are.
That's fair. That's
Like
fair.
the Orioles, they have some guys like they got Mullins, Mancini, and they got Rutschman coming up. I mean, the Royals, they have Bobby Witt, they have some guys to get excited about. And then the Pirates, they have Brian Hayes.
Yeah, that's about it.
And then they had O'Neal Cruz, but then you optioned him to AAA. I mean, I guess we'll get to go see him play with the Indians because he'll be in Indianapolis for at least the first part of the season. So that'll be fun. But he should be in Pittsburgh because he deserves to be on the 26 man. And Pittsburgh is just a terrible organization, and I can't get behind it. Anyway, I have the Brewers winning this division because of just purely based on their pitching. Their pitching is going to carry them to great heights. They have 3, maybe 4 elite starters because you got Burns, Woodruff, Peralta was a huge breakout last year. And I think Aaron Ashby can join that that tandem of those 3 guys at the top. I am very high on Aaron Ashby. He is absolutely filthy. And then at the back end of the bullpen, Josh Hader and Devin Williams in the 9th and the 8th. I mean, we have Hader closing games, and then you got Devin Williams with his changeup before him. That's absolutely filthy. And the Brewers really won't need to score that many runs to win games. The Cardinals, they'll find their Cardinal magic. They'll find a way. Their offense is pretty good. Their pitching is aging. I kind of like what their bullpen is doing. Give Giovanni Gallegos some saves. They got Genesis Cabrera. Hey, they have some pieces. They, went and got some free agents to shore up that bullpen, like Nick Wickren, TJ McFarland. So I think the Cardinals are going to be just fine. And then the Cubs, for all of those in all those people in Cubby land that telling me that the Cubs are going to be great, that the Cubs are going to compete for the division. Stop it. They're not that good. They have Seiya Suzuki and, Jason Hayward. Your pitching rotation is a bunch of 30 somethings that are past their prime, and their bullpen is one of the worst in baseball. I think it'll be a miracle if the Cubs even reach 80 games, which I don't see them doing. The Reds, they were better than the Cubs, and then they decided to sell everybody with value. You trade away Sonny Gray, you trade away Jesse Winker and Eugenio Suarez. I'm excited to see what Hunter Green and Nick Lodolo do in the rotation, though. So, I mean, that's what I got for the Central. It's not that great of a division. 75 wins is enough to get you 3rd place. Yikes.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. This has got to be the worst division in baseball. But I'm going to swap the Brewers and Cardinals. I got the Cardinals taking 1st place with 95 wins, and that 95 is thanks to the division opponents that they play.
Fair.
Not much more. And then 2nd, I got the Brewers at 87 wins. And then 3rd, I got the Cubs at 71. And then the Reds 1 win below them at 70. And then I have the Pirates, of course, in last place at 63 wins and 99 losses. And you were saying you think they'll win
okay,
50
hold on. I'm
games?
gonna give you a take. I'm gonna present you a take about the
Okay.
Cubs, right? I think it's more likely that the Cubs lose 95 games than win 80 games.
I can agree with that.
I think that
Absolutely.
I think it's way more realistic that the Cubs are in the doldrum of the league than they overperform because they
Yeah, I literally
overperformed last year. After
right.
they tore it down, you got guys like Schwindel and you got Patrick Wisdom, Rafael Ortega that played well. Neither one of those three guys are that good. And say I will be really fine for them. Say I will carry them offensively. But Wilson Contreras, he acts like he just doesn't want to be there. And then other than that, you're going to count on a pair of 300 contact hitters to carry you in this day and age in baseball. Yeah, Madrigal and Horner are going to hit for average. So Cubs aren't
Yeah.
good. Face it.
But yeah, let me explain some of my other picks. The
Yeah, no,
Brewers,
go for it.
you know what my take is on good pitching, not good hitting. I think it's a similar story with the Brewers, but they're still a good enough team where they'll easily crack over 500, especially the opponents that they're playing in their division.
Mm-hmm.
It would be pretty embarrassing if they fall below 500.
Oh,
And
it will
then Cubs,
absolutely
I
be
mean,
embarrassing.
the Cubs,
Considering
we've
that the
pretty
Brewers
much,
won 95 games last year, if they fell below 500, that would be a total catastrophic failure on the part of the Milwaukee Brewers organization.
oh, for sure. Anyways, with the Cubs, yeah, I don't get this notion that they're a decent team because they're not. I saw a take on Twitter yesterday saying that Clint Frazier can hit 40 home runs when he's healthy. Look at the cap I'm wearing. That is not true. I'll tell you that right here, right now. Don't get too excited for him. And then the Reds, it's such a shame the Reds, man. They could have easily won at least 85 games if they didn't trade away their entire roster, I think.
I mean, they felt it
But
was time, though.
yeah, I mean, like if you compare them to what the A's did with trading everybody, I really don't get why the Reds did it. I thought they
I
had a
mean,
talented enough
the
roster where they
Reds
could at
tried to
least
reverse
compete
course.
in the
They signed
division.
like Tommy Pham later in the free agency period. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. And
I
then the
don't.
Pirates, I have them win a couple more games, like for the same reason the Brewers win 87. You know, if you're going to play that many bad opponents so many games a year, you're going to win some of them.
Yeah, fair enough. So let's move on to the NL West, which this division is going to be as competitive as ever, but not in first place, because if the Los Angeles Dodgers don't win this division with flying colors, I will be incredibly disappointed because I have the Dodgers winning 108 games, the best record in baseball, because this is the best team in baseball. I don't think it's particularly close. The Giants I have in second place with 91 wins. I think they're going to regress from the 100 plus that they had last year, but I do think they have a better roster than last year. I just think last year's roster severely overperformed, but that doesn't mean the Giants are going to be bad. I think they're going to be pretty good. In third place, I have the San Diego Padres at 87 wins. I don't buy completely into the hype. Tatis is going to miss a significant amount of time because he rides motorcycles way too often. The Padres are trying. They're trying to fix that pitching staff. I mean, Clevenger had a setback with his knee, and then they traded for Mania, like with Oakland. So Nick Martinez, they got over from the Japanese league. I think the Padres, they're going to be all right. They're going to be an above average baseball team. In fourth place, I have the Arizona Diamondbacks with 74 wins because I think you have some guys that they can be excited about. Zach Gallen, I think, is a legit ace. You sign Ketel Marte, Alec Thomas, and Corbin Carroll. They're going to come up in the outfield. I think there's at least something to be excited about with the Diamondbacks. Where there's not with the Rockies, I have them losing 97 games, even though they got Chris Bryant. Why? Why did you do that? What was
I
the
got no
point?
idea either.
What was the point? Like, it's like we went over this in our free agency video where we recapped. Like, we compared it to the Arenado signing. Why did you go get Nolan if you were just going to deal him and $50 million to the Cardinals, and yet you give Bryant a similar amount of money with a no trade clause? I don't quite get the direction of this Colorado Rockies team. Yes, they have Herman Marquez, but other than that, other than him and Bryant, they're a mess, and I don't like the Rockies at all.
Yeah, pretty. Actually, you do differ a little bit, but not in the way you think. for this division. First place, yeah, the Dodgers, they're definitely the best team in baseball. I got them winning 110 games.
Wow.
They're insane. And then second place, I got the Padres. I think they're going to improve from last year. Last year was a bit of a flop for them. I think 2020 showed potential for what they could have, and they just didn't perform last year. But I think that can change this year. Got a new manager. Was his name John Melvin from
Bob
Oakland? Came
Melvin.
down. Bob Melvin, my bad. Came down from Oakland to San Diego. I think it'll help, and I think they'll improve to 95 wins. And then third place, I got the Giants down at 89. I absolutely agree with your take that they severely overperformed last year, but they're still a solid baseball team. And then fourth place, I got the Rockies at 66 wins. Big cutoff between 3 and 4 there. And then last place, I got the Diamondbacks at 62. I really don't see the improvement that you're seeing with the Diamondbacks. Yes, they have Ketel Marte.
It's
They also
not
had him last
necessarily
year.
improvement that I see with the Diamondbacks. It's hope for the future, right? That's what separates the
Yeah.
teams like from the doldrums for me. It's does this team have a future? With the Diamondbacks, I think they do. The Colorado Rockies, I think they don't. So that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah, that's a fair take. But I don't think I could see them cracking 70 until next year. I think it's one
Fair.
more year down in the ditch, and then maybe there's some improvement.
I
That
mean,
makes any sense.
yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, the Diamondbacks did get some guys. I mean, you have, like I said, Gallen and Madison Bumgarner. It's not Madison Bumgarner of the Giants, but it's Madison Bumgarner that can still eat innings if he stays healthy, And then in the back end of the bullpen, I think you're going to have the eighth and the ninth locked up, Ian Kennedy and Mark Melanson. Why those two guys decided to sign with the Diamondbacks, I don't know. Probably because it's the best shot for either one of them to get the closer job. But I mean, hey, to each their own. And that's who we have in the National League for the standings. However, we still have one more thing to do, and it's who's representing the National League in the World Series. Andrew, who's going to the Fall Classic from the NL?
Look, it would be ridiculous of me not to say the Dodgers. They always find a
That's
way to
true.
improve their already stacked roster, and they did it again. Signed Freddie Freeman. I mean, you really can't ask for much more. That's an amazing signing for them. They're already improving an amazing roster. And yeah, they're going to represent the National League in the World Series this October.
It's a pretty good take. I mean, Dave Roberts did guarantee a World Series championship for the Dodgers. So you have them at least going. But for me, I got the Atlanta Braves going right back. I like their offense. They're going to get Ronald Acuna back at some point, and he is going to mash. You re-sign guys like Eddie Rosario, Marcell Ozuna should be back. You sign Alex Dickerson, and even though the Braves lost Freddie Freeman, I think you replace him with a younger guy in Matt Olson who can be just as good. Austin Riley can also mash the baseball. They stick with Adam Duvall in the outfield. Adam Duvall is going to mash homers. Pitching staff is going to be really, really good. Max Fried, Charlie Morton, Ian Anderson. If Huascar Ynoa, Kyle Wright, and Tucker Davidson can take a step up, I think that can be nasty. And then the bullpen. Kenley Jansen and Will Smith are two of the best closers in baseball. They have them both. Colin McHugh was lights out for the Rays in the bullpen. They sign him. You get Darren O'Day and Tyler Thornburg as middle relievers. You get like 5-6 inning guys. Tyler Madzik and AJ Minter, they were both fantastic, and you have the best bullpen in baseball. I think this Atlanta Braves team goes back to the World Series in the NL, overcoming the Dodgers. You told me earlier that when managers make guarantees like that, you want to bet against them. I'm doing that here. I am betting against the Dodgers. I think they make it to the NLCS, but they get stopped by the Atlanta Braves on the Braves away to the World Series. So that is all we got. We have predicted the American League and the National League, the standings, and who we think is going to make the World Series. The next episode we're going to predict awards and who we have as the World Series champion. Stay tuned for that episode. But until next time, we out.